What's up everyone, and today we are going to start fixing the 2004 Outlander. If you watched the last video, that is the new member of the fleet. It's not perfect, so we're going to fix some things that are missing on it, things that need to be repaired, and just general things to get it somewhat a solid daily driver. I'm not going to go into detail on some of the fixes because it's been covered. You can go on YouTube and you can actually get videos dedicated to doing certain things that I'm going to fix. Like for instance, I got to replace the strut hats on the Outlander, and it's very similar to the Lancers of the same year range, very identical. I'm not going to go in deep detail. This video basically is just showing me getting the Outlander somewhat in solid daily driver. Here we go. I'm going to get started. Like I said, I'm going to show you every little bits and things that I'm going to put and fix the vehicle. And if you're looking to get an Outlander, you might be going through the same stuff. So here we go. So I went to the junkyard today and got a few things that I'm missing. Got a new analog clock because the one in there currently is not working. Got a new master window switch. I have a good feeling that it's not functioning properly. It's missing the brake pedal pad. This one side marker light is missing from the rear bumper. It's missing the power steering cover. And right over there are wipers. Gonna spray those up and replace them because the ones on the Outlander currently are pretty rusted out. They're pretty pitted and everything, so even if I sanded it down, whatever, it's still gonna kind of look nasty. So I'm just gonna replace those completely on the Outlander. And a few more things, like the hatch, the rear liftgate. It's missing some inside interior paneling and a few other things. Let me tell you, it is freaking hot. This is the one thing I hate about Florida. So I'm gonna try to tackle some of this stuff. So here we go. I'm gonna hit it with some paint here. I have it hanging over here where we keep the bird feeders. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit this real quick. All right, told you it's missing the power steering cap. So there you go. Now this insulator here, I'm gonna see what I can do to try to secure it. If not, I might just rip it off, but I got some clips, so we're gonna go ahead and do that. Okay, got these grommets, so it's sitting a lot better. This is no longer dangling like you just saw. It's all now secured to the hood, so that's good. So now is this. I currently have the hood prop on that. This is missing and it looked like it bent it, so I'm gonna have to bang it in so I can get, it needs to be more flat so the grommet can fit and I can secure it on there. So let me get doing that. All right, that's done. I banged it in, got a little hammer and then banged in a little bit of the sheet metal to get it somewhat straight. It wasn't coming out like you saw previously, and I was able to get this grommet base in here. So now this hood prop is not just flopping around loose in there. This is actually going to keep it secure. So that's another fix. So now on to the next one. All right, next is this glove box latch here. It's broken, so I got this one here. It is black and the one's brown. I don't care. I will go down the road and get the correct one. I just want this glove box to be secure, so I'm gonna go ahead and replace the new latch so this glove box can stay closed. All right, fixed. Now this glove box is secure. It's not dangling like last time, so that's a good thing. So that's fixed. Kind of digging it actually with the black, because this part of the dash is black and brown, so I'm digging that tonish color, two-tone color. I might just keep it, but that's one fix. On to the next. Okay, now it's to where the license plate is. You can see here, this grommet's here. This one is missing. So looks like the previous owner tried to secure his plate by actually drilling into the bumper cover, which is not smart. So I got a new grommet. Actually, this is easy. I just pop it in here. Boom. Easy fix. Now I can secure the plate properly with the 2 bolts. There you go. It's missing the brake pad, and looks like the previous owner was using this without a brake pad for a while. He's worn down the paint here, so really easy. This just goes right over it. This brake pad is actually off a Lancer, so Mitsubishi, a lot of the parts are interchangeable. So let me get this on here. There you go. Fix, another fix. So what we're going to tackle next is the strut hats, right? The strut top mounts, strut hats, whatever you want to call it, on both sides. Specifically this side, all right? Like I said, I'm getting like a clunking noise, especially on bumps and turning and like hard acceleration. Doesn't help the shocks are on their last days, but that's for later on, probably next year, replace those. But I need to replace these strut hats. So I diagnosed the problem when I was looking at the car, and I'll show you. It's not that bad on that side, but this side's the worst. Once I lift this up, you can see I can move the strut back and forth, side to side, and that's indicating that this top hat, the bearing and whatever bushing in there is done for. So that's what's making the noise. So let's go and get to it. All right, we got the passenger side removed and ready to go. Okay, I got the whole front left side strut assembly all taken off. So this is the old one, and this bearing is shot. It's not smooth. It's rough, and yeah, it's given out. So this is the new one, much more smoother. This one is, I have to put a little bit of force, and you can feel there's some roughness. It's not smooth like the new one. So I'm replacing it with new KYB strut hats. So I'm hoping this solves the issue. This looks really old and bad shape, so I'm going to replace it with a new one. So hopefully that resolves the clunking noise on the passenger side. All right, we got the new strut hat up, but I found something that I was not able to find during my inspection, but this is probably where the noise is coming from. It's the lower control arm, and I'm missing a sway bar bushing. See if I can zoom up here. There is this sway bar. Let me see if I can get in there. And if you see, there's no bushing. Actually, the bushing's here. Let me see if I can take it out here. Reach in here. There it is. There's part of the sway bar bushing. So that's one. So that the sway bar is just banging anytime I'm hitting a decent bump up and down that bracket there. And then the other culprit is here, lower control arm. If you see right here, you can't tell, but that metal part there you see, you're not supposed to see the metal. That's metal. This is supposed to be bushing here, all right here, covering, surrounding this metal. That bushing's done on the lower control arm. If I lift this up, I can't do it. I don't have enough strength, but that's what's causing the noise. So yeah, I think that's it. So I'm gonna have to order some lower control arms. No big deal. I can get them through Rock Auto. I think I get some Moog ones. I'm not getting like OEM Mitsubishi for this. This is daily driver, and like I said, it's not a lifer. I just want it to run good, so I'm gonna probably get some Moog lower control arms. slap them on at probably around 40-30 bucks maybe. It's going to be a lot cheaper than the OEM Mitsubishi one, so that's good. So at least I found the issue there. I'm going to replace both sides. I'm also going to have to replace the other side strut hat, and we're going to be good there. Other than the struts that need to be replaced, they say Mitsubishi on strut, so I'm assuming these are the original ones installed in 04. So at some point, probably next year, I'm going to replace them with new struts and go from there. But yeah, that lower control arm needs to be fixed. Okay, the next fix is the hood dampers. I'm sorry, not the hood dampers, the liftgate dampers, shocks, whatever you want to call them. They are shot. They're completely done on this Outlander. What I should be able to do is once I lift this up, it should lift up this liftgate. Right, so those are the dampers. They're done. They're not even doing anything. Right, not even pushing it up. So these need to be replaced. I got replacements, so we're going to go ahead and do that. And at the same time, the paneling here is missing and gone. It's a brown interior, but what I have is black, so that's what I'm going to replace it with. So let's go ahead and do it. Alright, this is what functional liftgate supports should do. Right, here we go. Bam! Another one item fixed. Alright, here is the black paneling. Alright, like I said, it was originally brown. I'm going to get rid of that, make it all black. Try to go for a two-tone accent ready in the car because the dash is half black. So I'm going to do that. So I'm going to put the new paneling for the rear hatch on. Alright, panel is on. So the black trim is on. So there you go. Another fix. On to the next. So here we go, making another repair. One of the other issues with the Outlander is as you saw in the intro video, this glass drops. Power windows don't work. Yeah, it just doesn't work. I have a good feeling it was the regulator, and it was. So I already took it apart. I already got the old regulator out, and right now I'm going to show you the original one. Looks like it's the original part from 2004 when they assembled it. It's a Mitsubishi regulator, and I'll show you the new one, and you can see the damage off the old one. All right, here is the old regulator. It is probably the original one from Mitsubishi. You can see right there, Mitsubishi Japan. And yeah, it's broken. You can tell there. See that cable is missing. That's all messed up. And this is one I pulled from the salvage yard, and this looks fairly new. Actually, it looks like it's in great shape, to be quite honest. It's intact. See, you can see the cable here is pretty much donezo. This one here, so you compare the two. So this is the new regulator. It's going to go in, and there's the other one. So let's go ahead and get it in and see and test it out if it works. All right, I got the new window regulator back in and just hooked up the switch. Now we're going to test if it works. Keys on. Let's see. Boom. Another fix. Alright, what we're going to do here is replace the lower control arm. So we're going to remove the sway bar link here. Then I should be able to make some progress here. The cool thing about this is the ball joint is like, it's hard to show here. The ball joint here is there's a bolt that goes there. It's not through the top. I think it clamps onto the ball joint, the knuckle. So that's pretty cool. I'll just have to get that, and then technically just 3 bolts to get this lower control arm off the Outlander here. So I'm gonna do that real quick and get it out, and then I can show you the carnage, the damage on the original lower control arm. All right, here is the control arm, the one that came out of the Outlander here. So first off, the ball joint was bad. If you look at it, that boot is done. There's definitely been some contamination in the actual ball joint there. So that ball joint is donezo. But this is the main culprit. I told you I was getting a lot of rattling noises, especially on bumps. That bushing. Yeah, it's gone. So this is the part where the bolt goes through to secure it to the body frame of the vehicle. So it was sitting like this at one point, and when I removed it, this thing just came right off. So this was all just moving around. Basically the only thing, this was just more because if you look, the bolt was going through it, so the control arm was just hitting it. And then you can look, you can tell it's been doing it for a while, because the rubber that was, I guess, molded and somewhat semi-infused into, melted or whatever, formed into this ball part here, you can tell it's been rubbing for a while by just looking at the marks, and it's completely gone, the rubber. So yeah, I'm gonna also replace the front sway bar link because it doesn't look healthy either. This boot here does not look right, does not look good. So I'm going to go ahead and replace that, everything there. So okay, I got both driver and passenger side front lower control arms removed. I showed you earlier the passenger side, and now this is the driver's side. Driver's side, believe it or not, is in better condition than the passenger side. As you can see, passenger side, that's completely separated. This is still holding on. This is how it's supposed to look like, in a sense. So if you look in there, see the difference. Yeah, that's where that rattling noise was coming from. But that's still held up barely. Front sway bar bushing is in bad shape. Boot's torn and everything, so that needs to be replaced. And the ball joint boot is torn over there. If you can zoom in, and you can see the grease has already come out. But yeah, that is the driver's side lower control arm. So yeah, I got all there. Now the one thing that sucked about the driver's side, and this is one of those things the engineers just wanted to F around or just wasn't thinking, that bolt here, that bolt that goes there to secure the lower control arm, that front bolt there, I don't know if you can see that hole right there. Well, what was going on, as I was trying to remove it, it hit the transmission like halfway, the head of the bolt, and I couldn't even get my socket because the socket was hitting the transmission. So I had to remove it with an open-ended wrench just to remove the bolt, unscrew it the rest of the way to get it out. And then I had to lift this transmission up slightly so I can just get the bolt to clear out from underneath there. So not sure what was going on there. Yeah, great job whoever designed that there. So next is, like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and replace the sway bar bushings. This side is still on on the driver's side, and let me show you the passenger side if you didn't catch it earlier. Here, I'll shine some light. As you can see, there is no bushing. It completely just came apart. And matter of fact, a piece of it was right here that was hanging on the other side, inner part of the sway bar bushing little bracket there. So I got those on order for the front, 2 brand new ones, 2 front sway bar links, and the lower control arms are on order. And you probably saw I replaced the top hats with new KYB top hats on both sides, so those are brand new. Yeah, so there you go. Once I get those parts replaced, the front end of this Outlander will be pretty solid. So I'm gonna have new front lower control arms. The top hats on the struts are brand new. Gonna have 2 new front sway bar end links and sway bar bushings. The front end's gonna be pretty well sorted out after I replace those parts. And honestly, that was the biggest problem on this Outlander when I got it. It was making a lot of noise, and you already saw why. I think the back is making a little bit of noise. I have a suspicion it's a bad rear sway bar link. I will get to that. That's easy to fix. I just need to get this front end sorted so I can start driving it and you know, use it as a daily. Now the struts are pretty much past their life. They barely, if any, rebound. So in a few months, I'm probably early next year, I'm gonna go ahead and replace the struts and the shocks and go from there with it. So yeah, we're making some progress on the Outlander. So there is one casualty, removing all these front end parts. It's this bolt. This bolt actually is what goes through the front knuckle for the lower ball joint. The lower ball joint slides into the knuckle, and this bolt kind of just clamps it down, right? So the ball joint goes in here, and this kind of like clamps it down the knuckle to secure it. This got damaged. I'm going to show you right here. I was a little too rough on it getting it out, so it kind of stripped those threads. So now the nut won't obviously screw down. So that's going to be an issue when I try to when I put everything together and tighten everything. This is not gonna do. So I'm gonna have to go to the salvage yard. There are a couple Outlanders there, so I'm gonna pull it from one of them. This is very easy to get out, so I'm just gonna have to be very careful so I don't do it again. Or I might go to my local Mitsubishi dealer and hopefully they have it. But not a big deal if this is the only thing that I had a problem with. Hey, it's a win on getting this Outlander up and ready and running. So on my next video, it's going to be covering everything, putting everything back together, fixing a couple other things. And we are making some progress on the Outlander, and hopefully I'll get it running in a few days. So yeah, stay tuned on the next video. See you guys.